It's the Standard Bank Blue Mic with Mathabo Tladi, and as you can see, we are in a very unique setting. We are sitting with this very community, Yakwa Hasatani. How did you all come together and hold space for each other, considering your experience and your attachment to the piece?
We had a 3-week rehearsal process. I'll say that it was a great pleasure to work with our director because, having been an actor herself, she was able to understand the things from our point of view. So she allowed us into a space where we were able to hold space for each other. We had focus exercises. We had time where we could interrogate the different characters and also the world that we are playing in. So those things are the things that contributed in us being where we are today.
You know, and Momo is such a giver of a director because she's a performer, she's a writer, she's a director. There was such camaraderie, a very good spirit amongst us.
And having Sis Momo guiding us through it and having veteran seasoned actors, they kind of held space for most of us that are fresh from school, that are still up and coming in the industry. We were blessed and lucky enough to be surrounded by people that really care about us more than just actors, but as human beings.
The one thing that really held us together and created space for us is the concept that Momo brought into the picture around ritual. Ritual is what holds an ensemble, a cast together. So if you constantly and every day you practice those rituals, if anything happens outside of the space, if there's instability, you're able to go back and tap into the ritual that you know you have established within the rehearsals. And that's what I guess keeps bringing us back. I'm excited. I think this is one play that I've allowed myself to just let go. It's a township play, yes, authentically black and very South African, but also deals with a controversial issue, sure, which is sexual abuse, but more specifically within the church. Sure. So I'm excited to see how people receive it. If we're talking about Batho ba Kokasi, this show is for them, and it's about us as black people, and it's about our silence and complicitness in issues that affect young women, particularly with the abuse of power. I think there's a lot of agency that is lacking. We are thumb protesters. We're comfortable to speak from a space of anonymity and critique, but without actually being agents of change. Sure. And I think as theatre makers, that's how we dream of changing society. But I think we also need to start thinking about ways of engaging people on a realistic level. Yes. Can this show live at a taxi rank? And what are the practicalities around that? Can we take it to churches? That's one of my dreams, that after this, because Standard Bank does then say, how else can your work grow further from that? And they support that financially. And one of my plans is to make sure that we travel as many churches as possible, yeah, and have the conversation happen there.
Standard Bank Young Artist Award winners represent a particular voice of a generation, a thematic voice of a generation, a politic, an imperative. Looking at Umo, her winning this award in 2023, what does it represent about the theatre maker in the here and now?
Momo represents somebody who has never actually been let into the so-called mainstream space. The legacy that she has now, the work that she's made up to this point, the body of work for which she's being honored, is work that she has had to fight for, to find resources, to find the energy to make herself visible, to make herself present in an industry that can easily disappear you. She actually has something to say that is valid, that is necessary, that is urgent.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the National Arts Festival for also the recognition of Momo. It's a story of identity, you know. You speak about African identity and the spirituality, but you do not want to go into the cliche way of talking about that. And you see, the story revolves around this young girl who has idlozi, or has a calling. It's telling you exactly what is supposed to be or what is happening in the story. So it's beautiful how you took a Christian root, grounded root, but now the twist is going to be about the African identity.
Lebitso La Moya, I think, is a relevant piece for the time. It is accessible language more than anything. It really was very accessible. It made the issues that are really South African issues, you know, come to life. I think everything was just so well put together. To see the mediums intersecting dance, music, and acting, all of it, it was just, honestly, I was at the edge of my seat the entire time, and the play with the comedy, the humor, it was everything. It really was everything.